broaden our minds. Lawrence?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Slav's Free Talk Podcast. This week, we're going to hit the reset button a little bit. This past weekend was quite a mess, I guess is the best way to put it. It was pretty hectic. So we're going to hit the reset button. We're going to take a step back and get back to basics of what Slav's Free Talk is all about. So let's get into it, guys. Let's kind of get into it. Thank you all for joining. I'm excited for this episode. Let's click this and get into it. How's it going? Let's see who's all here so far. We got Scared Life. Man, he was here 5 minutes early, ready and waiting for you to stream. First one here. Just a guy on YouTube. Yo, let's go. And Scared Life again. What's going on, man? How is it shaking? How's it going? I tell you what, like I said, this weekend, it was an interesting one. A lot of people really kind of got upset with one of my videos. I kind of wanted to just hit the reset button this week on Monday on this show. We're going to talk DC. We're going to talk some Marvel as well as some Star Wars. I want to talk a little bit of everything. Get back to what this show is about. This channel is not just DC. It's pulp culture commentary. I want to talk all pulp culture. That's what it's all about. So that's what we're going to get into. We're going to talk a little bit of everything. The main topic today is going to be a little bit of a departure from the last few weeks because I've been talking so much DC. It is going to be a little bit of a departure. We are going to talk. There are 3 DC related topics this week. So don't worry, you DC fans. I am sticking to DC. I'm not getting away from it. But out of my 6 topics today, the main topic will be Star Wars oriented, but there are 3 DC topics. So don't worry, we will be talking DC. We also got TSC Pulse in here. Hello. Where can I buy membership? TSC Pulse. Okay. The membership, you have to subscribe to the channel, and then there should be a button that says join. If you don't see that in the description of the video, in the video description, there is a thing that says join here, join now, or join thing. Here, it should say, let me see if I can find it here. Easier for you to, try and help you out. Look, I'm all for people joining memberships. Join the membership. Join. That'd be look, hey, I want everybody to join. Support the channel. That I'm all for that. Absolutely. Let's see if I can get in here. Oh man, I'm hearing myself. Yeah, if you see in the comments section or in the comment section, the description, it's right here. I will put it right there for you. It is in the chat if you want to join. So in the chat, you'll see the ability to join as a member. There you go. TSE, what's upset? What video? I did a video about the Snyderverse fandom and that gentleman who made a really, really vile comment towards James Gunn and his friend that he lost due to alcoholism. Noel Gonzalez, DCU slate coming to CCXP. We're going to talk a little bit about the CCXP here in a bit, so stay tuned for that. Unserious user 99, hello, how is it going? All right, so like I said, we got a bunch of topics here I want to talk about. The main topic is not DC, but we got 3 DC topics to talk about, so we are going to get into those, get into the topics here. So let's get going. The first topic is Star Wars oriented. I do want to talk about this because I have been very much love talking about the Acolyte. Who doesn't love talking about the Acolyte? It is the crappy Star Wars series that keeps giving. It just doesn't stop. So here it goes. The Acolyte was originally slated to have cost $180 million. It was stated that it cost $180 million to make. Well, our buddies over at thatparkplace.com, but thatparkplace.com did some investigative work. I don't know if they did so much investigative work, but regardless, they did the grunt work and they found out that, well, it was a little bit more than that $180 million. It was actually $230 million total for this series. That is $28.75 million per episode. That $180 million was misrepresented as it was not converted to US dollars from the Great British Pound or whatever it is. That is why there can't be a second season, people. That is why there can't be a second season. So this from That Park Place, this is an exclusive. The United Kingdom tax documents filed by the Walt Disney Company's UK branch reveal that Lucasfilm and Walt Disney Company spent over 172 million GBP. That's 231 million US dollars on the production of The Acolyte, a prequel series for Disney Star Wars universe. In an interview with Vanity Fair, the series creator Leslie Headland claimed that the show cost 180 million, which was assumed by several to be stated in US dollars. It is now evident that if Headland had knowledge of the series' financials, that she was more likely referring the amount in Great British Pounds. She wasn't accounting for the exchange rate. People who sit here, all these fans who are, there needs to be a season 2 of The Acolyte. There needs to be a season 2 of The Acolyte. People need to realize, they'll sit there and say, well, they let Breaking Bad get a second season and the first season wasn't great. Or The Sopranos, the first season wasn't great. They let that have a second season. Or Seinfeld, first season wasn't great. And look what that did. They mention all these shows that the first seasons weren't the seasons that really catapulted these shows to mega hits and mega stardoms. And they mention these shows. But these shows' first seasons didn't cost $230 million to make. And they refuse to acknowledge that. They refuse to acknowledge that also these first seasons of these other shows they keep mentioning were not as divisive. They didn't divide the fan base. They didn't cause so much animosity towards the IP and the brand that this show did. It is absurd that this show, which, mind you, had so much potential for this show, a show about the Sith hiding in the shadows, manipulating the Jedi, manipulating the galaxy, manipulating the Republic. Do you not understand the possibilities they had with this show? And this is what we got. A whiny set of twins, one of which actually both of the twins had no really emotion on their faces at all, and a story that had no real substance to it. Terrible VFX, a love story that people feel that there's a love story. Like, there's no love story there. There are people who are sitting there saying, this love story between May and Kamir is amazing. We need to see more. There was no love story there. It was so bad. There's so much wrong with this show, and people think that it deserves a second season. Based on how badly the show was written and handled and executed, it doesn't deserve a second season. But then you go and sit here and see the millions of dollars that they wasted on this show, it absolutely doesn't deserve a second season. And to put this into context for you, Andor spent $250 million on its first season. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of Andor, but it was still vastly better than this show. You have Game of Thrones, which spent about $15 million per episode. You have House of the Dragon, which is spending around $20 million per episode. Vastly better shows in production and execution. Hell, even the final season of Game of Thrones is leaps and bounds better than that first season of The Acolyte. So you sit there and you start to take everything into perspective. Like you put everything in line, you start to understand, like, okay, maybe when you step back and you look at things, you take your emotion out of it, you can start to realize, okay, this is why there's no season 2. Financially, it makes no sense. We see that it wasn't a hit. People weren't watching it. It sucks. It does suck when there's something that you like that doesn't get continued. It's happened to me in the past. It sucks, but it's the reality of this life. It's reality of the business. You move on and you hope that something else comes along that you're gonna like and that it does get continued. That's how it works. You don't sit there and just whine and cry constantly and act like Star Wars wronged me. It's all the bigots on YouTube. YouTube is at fault for this. Like, come on, guys. Move on and just hope that the next thing that comes out you like. If you don't, then you wait for another thing. That's what you do. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. And with all that said, yeah, let's see what everybody here has to say. All right. Unserious user, I said hello. Radioactive, what a budget. Yeah, exactly. What a budget indeed. What a budget indeed. Man, it's time. Hi, Slav. Hope you're okay. I am okay. Hope you're okay, sir. Scared Life. I did not see it, but I heard that Acolyte had no real direction for the story. My friend said, yeah, it really didn't have. It had it had direction. It did have a direction. It was just a bad direction. It was a bad direction. There were so many issues with that show. And I went into the show originally, I'll say originally, prior to finding out all the issues a year beforehand. When they announced this show, I was hopeful because the premise, the idea, the concept is amazing. But man, they flubbed it up. They really flubbed it up. They like that is a show, a concept that had so much promise and they just dropped the ball. It really like I just don't know how they could have done that. Makes no sense to me. No sense to me how they could have done that at all. I just don't get it. Yeah, I don't know. All right, moving on to the next topic. This one's exciting. This topic is real exciting because tomorrow, October 1st, Deadpool and Wolverine releases on digital. And the coolest thing, man, I'm getting all these pop-ups. All these pop-ups. There we go. Deadpool and Wolverine releases October 1st on digital, including TVA deleted scenes and Amazon exclusive features. Now that's exciting. So I need to ask all of you, are you going to be buying Deadpool and Wolverine on digital? So there's a poll on YouTube. Go ahead and answer that. So this coming from Games Radar, it says Marvel Studios has revealed that the digital and DVD Blu-ray release dates for Deadpool and Wolverine will be releasing soon. First, the upfront stuff you want to know immediately. Deadpool and Wolverine is coming to digital storefronts on October 1st. The buddy comedy with a multiversal twist starring Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman will hit 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray and DVD a few weeks later on October 22nd. So that is exciting. As to be expected, Deadpool and Wolverine is about to break the fourth wall with hours of bonus footage, featurettes, and more. Listed in the collection are features on that Like a Prayer sequence, a tribute to Marvel artist Ray Chan, Hugh Jackman on his Wolverine return, director's commentary, gag reels, a rundown of the Deadpool and Wolverine cameos, and Deadpool and Wolverine Easter eggs you may have missed. Still no word on why Thor was crying, but the listing promises a vignette that features one top secret item that may or may not be a spoiler. On top of that, we're also getting 3 Deadpool and Wolverine deleted scenes with an extended focus on Loki's B-15, Wunmi Masaku. They are as follows: Elevator Ride, Do Nothing, and Daddy's in Love. So this is exciting. Look, I don't know how you guys felt about Deadpool and Wolverine. I really enjoyed it. Look, it wasn't, the thought-provoking film that some may wanted it to be, which it's Deadpool. I don't know why you would want it to be that. But I think Deadpool and Wolverine was a hit that Marvel needed. Marvel needed a hit, and they got it. Was Deadpool and Wolverine the movie that's going to save Marvel? No. I said that months ago, that it wasn't going to be the movie that was going to save Marvel. But it's definitely one that put them back on track. It gave them a little leeway right now with fans. Like, okay, we got this out of the way. We got a movie that was a hit. Now let's see what's going to happen next. Can Captain America Brave New World be a hit? Well, people like that. If that does well enough, it doesn't need to be a $1 billion hit. It doesn't need to do big money like Deadpool. But if it does well enough, that then leads them in to Thunderbolts. If that does just well enough, if it does good enough, that leads them into Fantastic Four. And that, to me, is the movie that has to do well. That's the big movie that has to do well. So, again, this movie, Deadpool and Wolverine, has really given them that leeway. It gives them that opportunity to just, these next two movies just have to do well enough. If Deadpool and Wolverine was a complete failure, if it was crap, if it was trash, well, these next two movies, if they were just okay, well, Marvel would be in a very, very precarious predicament right now. Let's just say that. But it did well. $1 billion. It was huge. It's exactly what they needed it to be. And that's where it's going. But again, my question is, are you going to be getting it on digital? And right now, 70% out of 10 of you, so 7 of you out of 10 votes are saying no. That's crazy. That's crazy. You literally are not going to be buying it on digital. Is there a reason why? Like, are you just not digital? Are you guys more along the lines of, do you like the physical copies? Like, I personally have transitioned to the digital realm and era of everything. It's simple for me. It's just so much easier to own everything digitally. I have 6 kids. I don't have a lot of room in my house anyway, so I can't put everything. I don't have anywhere to put anything anymore. I have a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays still, but they're just packed up in boxes, either in my basement or in my closet. Occasionally, I'll go and grab a couple of them that I want. And the ones that I really, really, really want, like I have, for instance, Star Wars. I have all my Star Wars on Blu-ray, on DVDs, on VHS. I have those all collected. And then I have the Snyderverse trilogy. I have Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, all on Blu-ray. I have the Dark Knight trilogy, all on Blu-ray. I have those certain films that I really, really love and want to have physically. But most of them, I have them just digitally. That's just kind of how I am. Really interested why you guys are like that. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Are you going to be getting it on digital October 1st? Some of you may be watching this, may already own it. Let me know what you guys think about all that in the comments below. Hey, KO with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, KO. $2. It was great. It wasn't great story. It was a great action movie. You're right. It wasn't a great. It had, I saw something on TikTok the other day about Deadpool that there is actually some interesting depth to it. And it's kind of like, if you just watch it, you might miss it. Something about being, what was it? Oh man, I can't remember. But it kind of like took me aback a little bit. I was watching this TikTok. I was like, either they're reading too much into it or they were really good at writing it. So I don't know what to really think about that. But no, you're right. The story, it was kind of all over the place at a couple points, like it sometimes with these Deadpool movies, they focus too much on the comedy and the action and allow the story to just kind of fade away. So I understand. The action was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a good movie. But thank you so much, KO, for the super chat. Thank you so much. But yeah, hey, KO came in. Yo, Slav, nice to see you, brother. Nice to see you. Lawrence Fury, what's good? What is good? Scared Life. I have not seen Deadpool Wolverine yet. I'm waiting for it to come on streaming. Man, you're missing out. It is a good movie. I really enjoyed it. Matthew got it. I will buy the 4K probably unless the price on Blu-ray is way better or something. Lee Humphreys, I love Deadpool Wolverine. It was great. I don't care what or why the idiotic naysayers cry about it. Hey, Lee, you like what you like. You like what you like. Lawrence Ferry, I'm good. I'm not a big Marvel fan. Hey, it's again, you like what you like. Critic Chris says, I prefer physical copies. What's going on, Critic Chris? Nice to see you here. Scared Life, I'm not a fan of Deadpool. However, I am a huge Wolverine fan. Hey. Dave Ethan, what is going on? I'm a digital guy too. Hey, we're in that age. And I know there's this whole idea and this whole thing, like you don't really own your digital stuff. There was that whole thing that happened. Was it Sony about a year ago where if you bought stuff, was it on the PlayStation store that they just started taking stuff off of you because they were shutting down the store? That's a problem. And I hope that doesn't keep happening. I actually have a problem because it was like back in 2000, probably like 2005, 2006 on my Xbox 360, I bought a whole bunch of stuff digitally. And then my Xbox 360 account got hacked. That email got hacked and I lost all of it. That's my concern with that stuff. That is my biggest concern. Matthew got it. Almost bought the Lord of the Rings 4K, but it was $70. I have the DVDs. Yeah. I still like. There's sometimes I'll go like look for a movie. Like honestly, I wanted to watch the old Blade movies a while ago, and I went on there. I think it was on Movies Anywhere. I went to go buy them, and I looked. Maybe it was on Amazon, and I wanted to watch the first one specifically. And it was like $15 on digital. I was like, why the hell is the first Blade movie $15 for the digital version? Like it should be $5. Like those old movies, they could probably sell so many more of those movies digitally if they just put them down to like $5. I would buy so many of them. But they have these digital movies sometimes at such a high price. It's absurd. It is absurd. It is absolutely absurd. All right, we're going to move on to the next topic here, and we're going to get into our first DC topic of the day. This is an interesting one. This one is kind of a gobbly-goop of a mess of he said, she said, this person thinks this. So Marvel DC News on X posted that David Zaslav wants the DCU Batman to be introduced as soon as possible in order to compete with Marvel. It's still possible Robert Pattinson's Batman will join the DCU after the Batman Part 2 is released. No updates on Brave and Bold. And they said that this was Jeff Snyder from the Insider that stated this. The problem is on this is it's not accurate at all. It's not what Jeff Snyder was saying at all. Now, Jeff Snyder did state that David Zaslav wants the DCU Batman out sooner rather than later. That is 100% accurate to what Jeff Snyder was saying. But Jeff Snyder then was speculating. He was saying that he thinks that the Robert Pattinson Batman, it's what his desire is as a scooper. He's stating that he thinks that Robert Pattinson's Batman should be the DCU Batman. Now, for me, Slav, I don't think that Robert Pattinson's Batman should be the DCU Batman. I do not think that. I know that some of you probably in this chat do think that Robert Pattinson should be the DCU Batman. I'm sure there's many of you out there in the DC fan realm that want Pattinson as the DCU Batman. I do not. And I know there's some people that want that. But that is not what Jeff Snyder was saying that David Zaslav wants. That's not what Snyder was saying that James Gunn wants. Basically, this whole thing just got twisted out of everything. The whole problem is right now is they're walking a fine line. They don't want to have two Batmans out at the same time. They don't want these Batmans going side by side. They don't want the Brave and the Bold coming out the same year as the Batman 2. They don't want people to get confused. They don't want that all going on. And that's the problem. That is kind of the problem that they're running into here. So because of that, people want to get, why don't they just make Pattinson the Batman? I don't think he's going to fit in this world. And that's not a bad thing. They have specifically created Robert Pattinson to be a lot more grounded and darker and gloomy and emo and just really, I don't know. If you've been watching my show, I'm not the biggest fan of this Batman franchise, which sucks because I'm a huge Batman fan. I'm struggling with this franchise, guys. I'm struggling. I'm trying. But I don't think they're going to go that route with the DCU Batman. They could. Maybe we all get shocked and they announce after the Batman Part 2 that there's a shift in the DCU world and the Anti-Monitor and the Monitor have a fight and there's a big explosion and worlds collide and Darkseid is... who knows? I mean, you never know what James Gunn's going to come up with. I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. Who knows? I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, let's be real. So, to be fair, people are freaking out about this. You can even see in the comments, the article doesn't state this. Pattinson won't be the DCU Batman. Then there's some people, that want to sit there and say that it is true. He should be. Not surprised. Best news I've heard. There's people that want it. Some people that are saying it's not possible. Some people that say... So it is pretty mixed. There are people that want it to happen. There are some people that don't want it to happen. But let me ask you, I mean, do you want it to happen? Because that's kind of, what it kind of is. Like, do you want it to happen? Do you think it'll happen? I don't know. So let's ask that question. Should Pattinson be the DCU Batman? So let's start that poll. Let's get that poll up and going. You tell us in the chat, people. Should Pattinson be the DCU Batman? All right. Let's get back to the chat. Critic Chris. We're back to the physical stuff. Physical copies, he says he prefers, but I'm not going to go rebuy each on 4K. I only got Blu-ray because few movies finally got official releases. Radioactive. Any ideas on what possible roles for Josh Brolin in DCU? His latest interview seems to suggest he'd be willing to do other roles or opted for another role. I think he should play Jonah Hex. I'm kidding. Justice for Jonah Hex. No, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. That's the thing. A lot of people have this perception that when actors turn down roles, when he was up for Hal Jordan, that's it. He hates the DCU. He hates James Gunn. That's why he turned it down. No, I think that they'll come back to him. I think that he will have another role at some point. I mean, it's a good possibility that he will. And I think if it happens, I think we'll all be surprised. And it might actually be a better fit than Hal Jordan. Because honestly, I don't think he was the right fit for Hal Jordan. But that's a good question to have. And I think it's something that we should all maybe just mull on for a little bit and think about. And it's a good topic of discussion for sure. Derpy Entertainment, what's up? I haven't seen Deadpool 3 yet. I'm not biased Marvel fanboy, regardless how good it is. And he also says, I don't want Pattinson in the DCU. Matthew Goddett, since I no longer have cable, I don't buy digital. If I did, I probably would use Voodoo because that is where all my free movie codes are and those copies included with discs. KO. No. I think I said enough no's. Lawrence Fury. Robert Pattinson. KO. No, I don't think so either, Sla. Let's see. Lawrence Fury. Robert Pattinson's Batman is too realistic. Cubistic. Pattinson is amazing, but it's not the Batman for the DC. I'm guessing you. Scared Life. The Batman should stay in Elseworlds Tale since it is early Batman, I feel. That's another thing. Like, he's early Batman. I don't see where Damian Wayne fits into this. I don't see where that fits. Derpy Entertainment, I'm hoping for the classic 70s navy blue bat cow for DCU Batman with Batmite. Oh man, of course we'll have crypto and we'll have Batmite. Why the hell not, right? Why the hell not? For sure. KO, another $1 super chat. Thank you so much. I need to get like a cool little aesthetic like vibe whenever somebody does a super chat. I definitely need to do that. Matthew got it. I did not like it too pretentious, like they wanted it to be a Fincher movie. I liked Catwoman. Batman was better than I expected. He was not Twilight Batman, but he was just sort of there. Yeah, I like how you put it with the Fincher-esque thing. You know, it was a little. They tried to be like a Fincher movie. You're right. I like that. Lee Humphreys, while I do love Pattinson's Batman, I want something out of the realistic realm of Batman for a little bit. I do love the realistic Batman, but I want an anti-realism. That again, we want the fantastical. We want a more fantastical Batman, and that's where they're going with it. KO, look at the tone. They are different between the two, James Gunn and the Batman. Very true. Derpy Entertainment, I want Jake Gyllenhaal, as do I. I think he would be great as Batman. That was my original pick for Batman. Last year on my other podcast, Bridging the Geekdoms, we had a little casting thing. I said Jake Gyllenhaal. My latest casting idea, because I think I want a little younger now, I want Taron Egerton. But yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal is a great choice. Universe chronology, words, names, hard. What's going on? Hasn't it already been said several times that Pattinson isn't going to be the DCU? Hey, look, when rumors start, when things get misinterpreted on the internet, that's what happens. It's what happens. People just start running with things. You know how it goes. Matthew Goddard, I probably wouldn't have liked it more if I could have seen anything too darkly lit. Yeah. Oh, man. It was really dark. I fell asleep so many times. So hard to watch it. Scared life. Considering the Bat family will already exist in the DCU, wouldn't make any sense for Pattinson to be the DCU Batman, since he does not even have a Robin yet, which means there can't be a Batman yet. Kevin Davis, AT&T sold off Warner Brothers, even with the success of Aquaman, Wonder Woman. I don't trust Zaslav at all. Discovery making everything look good as the package deal until Warner Brothers gets sold off. Gotcha, buddy. Critic Chris, yeah, wait for some toxic people to crucify Gunn over Pattinson. If no, the Batman 3 follows, concluding Pattinson's take. Universe chronology, Josh Brolin could work as like a future Batman. Other than that, I think Deathstroke. If you're going an older Deathstroke, he could work. Yeah, but then you're kind of thinking, it's a little like Cable. A little like Cable. Radioactive. What if Batman finishes first his trilogy before transitioning to DC as an older, quite different Batman? Maybe. Lawrence Fury, the DCU Batman needs to be more experienced and more true to source material. Universe chronology. If Batman isn't here, it isn't a true Batman adaptation. Unserious user. Nope, I feel it is pretty great that in one side we have grounded, gritty Batman, the other side, the more fantasy-focused Batman. I like that. I mean, that's a good way to go with it. Matthew Goddard, I hope they make Batman 2 more Batman, less art film, and they actually hire someone who lights sets the so dark. It's so dark, you can't see anything style. I'm sick already, just like shaky cam and lens flares. Shaky cams and lens flares. That's a jab at J.J. Abrams. Kevin Davis, people are rooting for DC Studios. I mean, I'm rooting for DC Studios. I want them to succeed. I want DC to succeed. Regardless of who's in charge, I want DC to succeed because I want DC content. I want DC content. I want good DC content. So I want them to succeed. Man of His Time. I feel knowing that the world will be fantastical, Robert Pattinson wouldn't fit. Kevin Davis, Marvel Studios have nothing left to prove to nobody at all. If Bane and Deathstroke film is on the DCU, I need them to have their classic costume. Bane's with the mask with the red lenses and Slade with the orange and blue. Also, I think it should be R-rated. Yeah, definitely. All right, I want to take a look at the poll here. What do we got? Should Pattinson be the DCU Batman? Out of 22 votes, 86% say no, 14% say yes. I mean, that's what I pretty much expected. I pretty much expected that for sure. All right, let's see. Got a whole bunch of comic comments here. Run through a couple more, and then I will get to the next topic. Where are we at? KO, no, he is not. Lee Humphreys, Aaron Fisher is the king of believing dumbass rumors. Kevin Davis, look, everybody falls into the habit of believing dumbass rumors. I fall into believing dumbass rumors, but let's face the facts. I mean, here's the thing: there's a lot of people who want the DC universe to fail, or the DCU to fail, DC Studios to fail. They do, and they're going to take and look at their different rumors and run with bullshit rumors because they want the DC universe to fail. And that's the difference. You know, there's going to be times whenever I run with a rumor that I think that is completely accurate. I've spoken on this in previous shows that I have people who will email me. I have people who message me all the time like, hey, check this out, or hey, I got this information. Do you want to put this on your website, or do you want to make a video about this and stuff like that? And I've had this going on for a number of years since Bridging the Geekdoms. And there was a point in time when I wanted to be in that scoop game, but I never like. I was always told by people that I know, you don't want to just have one source. You want to confirm things, do this, and it just seemed like it was so much work. And then I saw the people how like you get destroyed online if you're wrong, if you're right, and all that stuff. So it just wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. But there are times whenever you start to see things online and you start to get excited, and you're like, oh, you hear this rumor, you hear this thing, and you get excited, and you kind of just you buy into it. You buy into it. And it happens, you know, especially if you hear something that you want to hear. So it happens. Some of us will sometimes fall into believing dumbass rumors. It happens to the best of us. It does. So again, whether it's somebody who wants to just believe dumbass rumors because they want something to fail or something to succeed, or whether it's because, hey, you just want to hear the best of something because you're excited. It happens. It really does. Kevin Davis, Warner Brothers barely promoting Joker, Dave Coulier. That's what I call it. Joker Dave Coulier. Good or bad reviews, this film has to make a profit. You're right. And again, I've been saying for a while that that movie was going to succeed. I still think it's going to succeed, but I'm not going to lie. I am a little concerned that it's not going to do as well as I initially thought, just because I really haven't seen much hype around it, specifically from the studio, which is a little concerning. I'm going to do one more. KO, trust me, that means James Gunn going to be called Games Gunn. He ain't having that. All right. Not sure where that's coming from, but moving on to the next DC topic here. And this one is coming from Everything DCU on X. They say David Corenswet may have confirmed that he will come to CCXP to promote Superman. On the Manly Things podcast, David mentions that he will be in the Southern Hemisphere during the American winter to promote the film. Okay. This was just a bunch of word salad is what it was, basically. But I had to watch the podcast, which was a very difficult podcast to watch. It's not my type of podcast, but I turned it on and listened to it in the background. And David Corenswet talked about a few things. I mean, he talked about how he, bulked up for Superman, how he didn't fit his pants, all this kind of stuff. He talked about Superman a bit, not the whole entire time. They talked about fashion and stuff like this. I was like, this is not a manly podcast, whatever. Anyways, it was a very strange podcast. I don't know how people watch it, but anyway, I digress. I think that the way that he spoke about this is very interesting because the Comic-Con the CCXP, the Comic-Con experience in Sao Paulo, Brazil is December 5th through December 8th. So that's winter months. Winter technically starts the end of December. December 21st is when winter technically starts, but we'll give him a break here. I think that makes sense. That checks out. I think that Creature Commandos, New York Comic-Con, the end of this month, it makes sense. The next big convention is CCXP. And this isn't just a big convention. This is like big or bigger than San Diego Comic-Con. This is a huge convention, so it makes sense. This is right around the time that a lot of people have been speculating that we're going to get our first teaser. 90-second teaser, 60 to 90-second teaser. Yeah, show it here, and then you attach it to some films around Christmas time. Again, it's that 60 to 90-second teaser. Just, hey, there's a Superman movie coming in about 6-7 months. Get hyped. And then you come to Super Bowl. Super Bowl in February, beginning of February. That's when you get your full length 2-3 minute long trailer that gives us a little story, gives us an idea of what that movie is going to be about. It makes sense. It truly makes sense. But, I mean, could we get a little something before that? I think so. Is this going to be the true beginning of the marketing for Superman? I think this will be the true beginning market for the start, the real start for the marketing for Superman. Yes. But I think before then, I think we will get a little tease, a little taste of something. I think James Gunn knows that he has to do a little something. And it's not going to be a trailer. It could be like what Marvel did with Fantastic Four, maybe give us a little taste of the music. It might be maybe an action shot of David Corenswet as Superman, just a pose. It could be Lex Luthor. It could be a shot of the villain. It could be something. We could get something between now and CCXP. But I think the true marketing will begin somewhere between December 5th and December 8th at CCXP in December. I think that just makes the most sense. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think David Corenswet, do you think he slipped up though? Do you think he was supposed to say that? Do you think he was told to maybe allude to it a little bit? It's kind of interesting. The way everything has been kind of hush-hush with DC for so long, it's kind of interesting. Things are starting to come out. It's exciting. It's exciting for sure. It really is exciting. But what do you all think? Let me know in the comments below. All right. Let's see. There's a lot of Batman talk here. I want to get past that. There's so much Batman talk. Where's the Superman talk? We moved it on to Superman. All right, Lee Humphreys. He goes, I hope we get a Superman 2025 trailer by the end of the year or by the start of next year. Well, Lee, I just talked about it. David Corenswet may have teased that we may get something before the end of the year. KO, nope, Pat is the bat, out of here. KO, we should get a shorty at the end of the year. Shorty, I'm guessing you're saying teaser. He goes, yep, December. That would be 2-minute at Super Bowl. Yeah, again, a 2-minute to 3-minute Super Bowl trailer makes sense. And really, Super Bowl, what they do now for the trailers is they buy like a 30-second spot, and they're like, it's a quick 30-second ad where it says, you're Superman, and it's like July 11th, trailer now online. And then everybody has to rush online, and then they watch the trailer online. That's what they do at the Super Bowl nowadays for trailers. KO says, so that gives them 5 months for people to prepare to go see it. Exactly. I mean, and that's pretty typical now for trailers, for marketing for these movies. It's something that Marvel really started back in like 2015, 2016, around that time, is the 6 to 5 month marketing march for their movies, for superhero comic book movies. And I see James Gunn kind of following that trend. Daniel Martin, 30-second teaser of the trunks. Yeah, that's all it is. It's just, it starts on his crotch, just the trunks, and it slowly pulls back. And before it shows anything else, it just cuts and says Superman, July 11th. Unserious user 99. I need Barbie level marketing for Superman. Yeah. I think, again, remember, they have touted the summer of Superman. So they're going balls to the walls for the marketing. Don't worry. KO, yes and no, but they can talk around things. I'm not sure what that was in response to, but sure. You're talking about Batman stuff there. Radioactive David intended to slip up. Yeah, I think you're right on that. Scared Life, the film score, a new showing of the suit would be hype. I think we're going to get, New York City Comic Con, we're getting some super tease. I think we have to. Lawrence Fury, I think James Gunn will give us a sneak peek for Superman. Daniel Martin, do you think Warner Brothers should stick with the intended release date or move to get some distance between Jurassic World and Fantastic Four? I think I will say by the end of November, Fantastic Four will have moved. Fantastic Four is going to move back to the latest November of 2025. Possibly just to this, maybe August, but I could see them possibly moving to the Blade's old spot, because they haven't technically officially canceled or delayed Blade again. So I once they do that, I think Fantastic Four moves. So once they officially delay, cancel Blade, then they're going to move Fantastic Four. Once that happens, they don't need to move Superman. Jurassic World can stay there. That's fine. Superman can stay where it is if Jurassic World is where it is. But I also think there's a good chance that if Fantastic Four moves, Jurassic World may hop over Superman, just to give them a few extra weeks to finish their post-production, because they just finished filming last week. So giving them even an extra month of post-production would be huge for them. So I could see that happening. Unserious user Slav, do you see the Superman movie, Superman Crew Merch Cup? Metamorpho will look just like in the comics. I did see it. It's pretty awesome. Lawrence Fury, I want to see a full real Superman suit reveal, as do I. Unserious user, the score for New York Comic Con would be so cool. Agree. KO, they are shooting Fantastic Four. They are shooting Fantastic Four right now, but they just finished Jurassic World. So Fantastic Four, if they push it back, it just makes sense. Personally, I think so. And like I said, Jurassic World, I think if Fantastic Four moves, I think there's a good chance that Jurassic hops over hops over Superman to the end of July, possibly, depending on how far back Fantastic Four moves. Jurassic World will not move past August if it moves. So it'll move either to the end of July, at the furthest it'll move to like the second week of August. But again, it depends on how far Fantastic Four moves. I did a live video a couple weeks back all about this. I really went into detail on what I think is going to happen with that. But I think it's all going to come to fruition probably no later than the end of November. All of that will happen. So keep a lookout for that. All right, next topic. Moving right along. James Gunn clarifies DC rumors. This is interesting because we were just talking about some DC rumors. Interesting. So there was a interesting rumor going around, and this isn't just DCU, but just DC Studios rumors as a whole. But there was an interesting one going around that there was going to be a Mr. Freeze movie, or project, I should say, within the Matt Reeves universe. And people were all like, woo, this is exciting, yay. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not into that universe too much. But anyway, people were excited about it. And well, people asked, hey, what's the deal with this? So James Gunn, you can go check this out over at slavsfreetalk.com. You can go check out this article there. And he kind of goes, after being asked about it, he goes, I haven't heard that one, but there are a lot of rumors out there this week. Some of them are true. Some are partially true, and some aren't true at all. If it's fun for you to follow the unknowns, follow them. But don't trust anything completely. Again, don't trust anything completely until you hear it from me or Peter, who is not online despite me seeing him tagged in stuff. Again, I'm going to point this out to you, but don't trust anything completely until you hear it from me or Peter. And this came from Threads. He was asked that on Threads. So the most exciting part of this, of all this, is yet to come. James Gunn will be taking the stage at the end of October at New York Comic Con, where he will be spotlighting Creature Commandos. So that's exciting. That's where I think we're going to hear some pretty big news. But this just highlights everything that we were just talking about when it comes to rumors, when it comes to the DCU and DC studios. Look, it's fun to speculate. It's fun to have these conversations. It's fun to do all of this. But we have to remember that we should not be taking anything as fact, as truth, unless it comes from James Gunn's mouth or Peter Safran's mouth. We could sit there and say Variety gets it right, Deadline gets it right, Hollywood Reporter gets it right. Those are all reputable sites and outlets, absolutely, and 90%, 95% of the time they're accurate and they're right. And a lot of the times the studios are the ones that give them that news purposely because they want to gauge the reaction of the fans before they come out and say anything. But realistically, we as fans need to remember that unless we hear it from the studio themselves, specifically, we shouldn't be sitting there saying, yes, this is amazing, when we hear about like the Mr. Freeze project, or what was the other one this week that we heard? Crap, it was the it's another villain one. Bane and the Deathstroke. There we go. Bane and Deathstroke one. Like, those are all rumors. And granted, they could happen, absolutely, and it's exciting and cool information. But until we hear it that it's truly happening from James Gunn or Peter Safran, we need to just temper our expectations. Have this discussion, have a great talk. It's fun, but remember that, hey, until we know it's real, there's no reason to get so animated and excited and have these big fights about it like a lot of people do. Like, man, there's some people who in the comments of my videos, they kind of go at it. And it's like, this is the worst idea ever. Oh man, they're gonna ruin Bane. They're gonna ruin Deathstroke. James Gunn should not touch Deathstroke. It's like, come on, guys. Like, first off, it's a rumor. Secondly, let it play out. If it happens, let's see what happens. Like, come on. Thirdly, James Gunn isn't necessarily going to be writing and directing this movie or project or TV show or whatever it is. Like, people need to calm down, relax, step back, and just move forward. That's all I have to say. But it's interesting. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on what you think about James Gunn's comments. I like how he does say specifically, though, if it's fun for you to follow the unknowns, follow them. I like that. Like, look, if you want to follow the things that aren't really true, then go for it. Have fun with it. Like, that is great. Like, that is him saying, like, have fun with this, guys. This is supposed to be fun. This is the fun part of being a fan. Have fun on the speculation. That's what he's saying there. Have fun with the speculation. That is the beauty of being a fan, especially at this point of a universe, at this point of a franchise where it's just starting out. And, the sky is the limit. This is the most fun. So have fun with it. But he does say, don't trust anything completely until you hear it from them. So that's all. That's all. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What's the chat got over here? What do we got here? Radio Active says Secret 6. Yeah, that's the one I couldn't remember. Thank you. Matthew got at also over Disney Marvel Studios, not cinema, with the exception of liking Guardians 3, Spider-Man No Way Home, and looking forward to seeing Deadpool and Wolverine. Universe chronology. Never understood why so many people wanted Freeze in the Reeves-verse. I want him too, but it's just weird that since Batman 2 was confirmed to be a thing, people want him as the villain. Yeah, I mean, it's like Batman 2 is in the winter. Oh, you need the guy that does the freezy thing. That guy, because it's in the winter, so it's got to be cold, right? Like, that's what happened. Like, first off, Mr. Freeze is, I mean, he has one decent storyline, honestly, and it's him wanting to save his wife from being sick. Like, what else does he have? I mean, honestly, anybody? Anybody? All right. That's what I thought. Okay. KO, right, boy. Lawrence Fury, James Gunn isn't making everyone. Matthew Gaudette, X-Men has to be game-changing because I'm done with the MCU. Not for my generation at all. I like legacy franchise and heroes. Yeah, look, when they get into the mutant saga, which is after the multiverse saga, they really have to change things up. They really do. KO, some people need some blood pressure meds when dealing with this stuff. Dang. Daniel Martin Slav, do you think that these DCU movies will be more of an anthology as opposed to a super connected universe like the MCU? Yeah, I did a video not too long ago where there's some speculation that they're going to be doing some really cool things where each little section of the DCU is it's gonna be sectioned off, kind of. Like, you're gonna have the Batverse, the Superman verse, the Green Lantern verse, that kind of thing, and they're all gonna have their own little secluded stories with an overarching story going on throughout. That's kind of what the speculation is. So I'm hoping that's what it does. It's a little bit different than what Marvel's doing, so I think that's what they should do, and I hope they do it. Scared Life, I'm glad I take everything I hear about DC with a grain of salt, unless it comes from Gunn and somebody is showing an actual post where he said this. Matthew Gaudette, Cap, Thor, Iron Man, it's never going to be the same as same, is it? Probably not, man. Unfortunately. Scared Life, however, it will not stop me from speculating on where DC is going to go and how everything plays out. Again, it's fun. That is the fun and the beauty of it all. Mano's time. I love Gunn's approach, especially when he replied to that one guy's comments. We may not agree 100%, but we should still give him a chance. Precisely. All right, guys. Final discussion here. Final topic. Again, I know you guys love DC, but I wanted to talk this because I love Star Wars, despite how bad it is. And this one kind of upsets me a little bit. But this one here, this topic here, rumor. The Mandalorian and Grogu movie is going to end the Star Wars series. We're not getting to season 4 of the Mando. This is a rumor. Despite its massive fan following, the Star Wars franchise has experienced a dull period of late. A flurry of underwhelming projects has unfortunately left a sour taste in the mouths of longtime admirers. Nevertheless, the Mandalorian series has served as a beacon of hope for fans, reestablishing their faith in the franchise. The show originally debuted in 2019, with the series expanding its narrative with 2 follow-up seasons. However, as per recent speculations, there are high chances that The Mandalorian Season 4 might never see the light of day. The accredited Star Wars series will reportedly conclude after The Mandalorian and Grogu movie, leaving no room for a 4th season. The update was first reported by renowned industry insider Daniel Richman, or Daniel RBK, talking about the possibility of Season 4. Richmond stated that The Mandalorian and Grogu would be the ultimate addition to the acclaimed series. I have also confirmed that The Mandalorian movie will be the final chapter of the show. No Season 4, Richmond says, as per the direct. He will be in the other projects after that, but The Mandalorian will be over, the scooper added. The development could come as a surprise to many, as the Mandalorian showrunner Jon Favreau himself provided positive updates regarding Season 4 in February 2023. Season 4? Yeah, I've written it already, Favreau stated. We have to know where we're going to tell a full-formed story, he added. All right. I'm not going to read the whole story, but this is absolutely ridiculous. And I say this with the utmost respect to someone like Jon Favreau. All right. Maybe it's not his fault. But this is absurd because we sit here on the heels of the most disappointing Star Wars series of all time. Star Wars is at its lowest point ever. The Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2 were one of the highest point for Star Wars ever. Season 3 was not as good as the first 2 seasons. I admit that. You're going to make a movie, which is going to do really well. It's going to. Mandalorian and Grogu is going to do very well. The Mandoverse, as we call it, the Mandalorian verse of the Star Wars universe, that little section of Star Wars has been massively successful. Ahsoka was good. That's part of that universe. Skeleton Crew is going to come out in just a couple months. We'll see how good the Mandoverse is, how well they connected to it. If they truly connected to the Mandoverse, if they make it known that it's connected to the Mandoverse, I think it'll do well. If they don't make it known that it's connected, well, it probably won't do well. But if they make it known, if it's known that it's connected, it'll probably do well. The Book of Boba Fett did okay because it was connected to the Mandoverse. Honestly, if it didn't have the two Mando episodes in it, the main Mando episode and Mando showing up towards the end, it probably wouldn't have done as well as it did. But the fact of the matter is, people love Baby Grogu or Baby Yoda or whatever you want to call it. People love The Mandalorian. And you're going to end it like you're ending it. You're going to just get rid of it. You're not going to allow it to continue. Now, whose decision was that? Whose idea was it to put it to bed, to put it to rest, to not continue forward with it? That's the question. Now, I remember back at the end of season 2, a lot of people don't realize this, but The Mandalorian season 1 and season 2 was supposed to be it. There wasn't supposed to be a season 3. Season 3 was technically supposed to be the Book of Boba Fett. That was supposed to be season 3. The season 3 of The Mandalorian was never planned. That was never part of the original plan. The original plan was that the Book of Boba Fett was supposed to be chapter 17. So it was supposed to go chapters 1 through 16 was that Mandalorian story. Chapter 17 was then going to be the Book of Boba Fett, and that was going to continue on that way. There wasn't going to be a Mandalorian season 3. But because of the hype, because of how excited people were, they decided, okay, let's make a season 3. And rightfully so. I mean, it was the best thing. It was the most exciting project that they've had Star Wars-wise for a long time, especially after how poorly the sequels were done. So we sit here and we take a look and we're like, okay, so here we sit. We have Ahsoka, which did well, but that's part of the Mandoverse. And we know that Dave Filoni is going to be directing a Mandoverse movie, which is supposed to probably come out in like 2028 at this point now. So that means we got, 3 years left of the Mandoverse, and then that's it? The most successful Star Wars that we've had, essentially. Not financially, because it's all television, I know that, but reception-wise. The most successful Star Wars that we've had reception-wise, and they're just going to end it. That is just, what is going on with Lucasfilm? Like, why do they constantly make dumbass decisions? I don't get it. I don't get it. Unless they're going to do what they were originally planning on doing, where they finally say, okay, this is the end of The Mandalorian, but we're going to continue the story, and it's going to be about Grogu. And Grogu goes off and does stuff. I just don't know. I don't know. Now, again, this is Daniel RPK. He's a scooper. He may not have the facts. This could be wrong. But if this is true, I tell you what. Bad move, Star Wars Lucasfilm. Bad move, Dave Filoni. Bad move, Kathy Kennedy. I don't know what else. There's no other way to put it. No other way to put it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. All right, what do we got here? We got some comments here. Lawrence Ferry, no! Is that your Darth Vader no, or is it just a no? Matthew got it. Disney Star Wars is trash. It's lost cultural relevancy. I had small hope Lucasfilm would learn, but that was foolish, as we have seen. Very true. Matthew got it again. Learn nothing from Solo, nothing from Dial of Destiny. Doesn't look like they learned anything from Acolyte. Daniel Martin, The Mandalorian is the best thing going for this incarnation of this Disney era of Star Wars. If they fumble this movie, they should just go back to the drawing board. Well, I mean, luckily this movie's in production right now, because if this movie wasn't in production, this movie could be canceled itself. Look, the Rey movie's been delayed. It's probably going to be canceled. This movie's in production, and no other movie is in production. No other movie is in active development. Sure, there's movies being developed, but none of them are in active development, meaning that they're in heavy development with writers, pursuing like directors and producers and stuff like that. This is the only film right now that is an active developer in production. It's in production. The Dave Filoni movie isn't even in like fully active development. Like they have a script, they have things ready, but it's not even to the point where it's like, hey, we have producers, we have budgets, we have like they don't even have all of that. I think they're waiting to see how this movie does before they fully greenlight that movie. Like the stuff going on at Lucasfilm it's terrible. It's terrible. Matthew Gaudette, we need a Luke Skywalker show, but they gave his story purpose to Rey in a movie that might be deleted. It's going to be deleted, dude. It should be deleted. Daniel Martin, a solo Rey movie could be cool if done right, but I feel it's possibly too early. Maybe not. I'm not sure. No, if done right, it could be good, but that's the thing. If done right, and they won't do it right. And that's the problem. They won't do it right. That is the problem. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just, Star Wars, it's one of those things, like it was such a big part of my life growing up. And I sit here today and I just don't know, like, why continuously ruin it. Just ruin it constantly. I don't know. All right. We've got a few more comments and I'm going to get out of here. I got to help get the kids ready for bed. Matthew Gaudette, Rogue Squadron should have been a no-brainer. I think if done well, like a Top Gun style thing, it could have made money. Disney is incompetent. Yeah, and I was all for Patty Jenkins doing it too. I think it could have been done really well. It could have been done really well. Whoa, I skipped a couple there. Radioactive, reason might be because they don't want to pay Pedro. Pay him what? He doesn't even show his face. I mean, he's just a voice actor at this point. We're in the show. Lawrence Fury, can we get someone young at Lucasfilm, please? Yeah. Daniel Martin, Star Wars is such a depressing topic anymore. I pray for the day when we can finally sit there and say, Star Wars saved. Star Wars saved. Hopefully it comes soon. Lawrence Fury, Kathy Kennedy needs to retire. The thing is I don't think that's even going to save it at this point. I think the company is in such a bad place that they need to clear house completely. Look, I was a big Dave Filoni guy for a long time, but at this point, they just need to clear house. Like, if they're going to finish this Mandalorian and Grogu stuff, finish it up and move on. And the crazy thing is, this Mandalorian and Grogu thing is Jon Favreau's baby. This isn't even Dave Filoni's baby. So they don't even need Filoni around. Let Favreau finish it. The crazy thing is, Filoni inserted his story into that story. That's the crazy thing. Like, this was Jon Favreau's stuff, and Filoni was like, I'm going to put my Ahsoka and Sabine and my Ezras into this story. It's just, I tell you, I don't know. It's wild. It is absolutely wild. I don't know. One of these days, guys. One of these days. Anyway, one more. KO, have a great night, brother. You too, man. You too. Thank you so much for the super chats again. All of you, if you want to become a member of the channel, $2.99 a month. You can help support me, support the channel. You can get the link in the description below. Hit that join button on the video as well. Support me, get some exclusive content. I'm thinking one Saturday a month I will do for exclusive video with the members, me, live video, that is. An exclusive video where you can jump on and have a chat with me, like a live chat where you, not in the comments, you can join the video chat with me and we can have a discussion. So that is something I want to do with the members. So once I start getting the memberships, I will start scheduling that. Sacred Life, have a great one. Daniel Martin, always trust Favreau. Okay, yo, love your podcast. Keep them coming. Much love. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm going to get out of here. Have a good night. I will see you Wednesday for the Watchtower. I don't have the topic yet. There was something I wanted to do. I think it's something. Yeah. But keep an eye out tomorrow. Probably post it in the community. So keep an eye out for that. Wednesday, Watchtower. See you there.